Hello, thank you for coming back to SCI Teach. The topic today is particulates nature of matter. So indirectly the topic is atoms, molecules, and ions. Atoms, molecules, and ions. And before we start, I have a little chemistry joke for you. Two atoms were walking down the street, and one atom said to the other, "Hey, I think I lost an electron." The other says, "Are you sure?" Then it says, "Yes, I'm positive." And who knows what that means? So, atoms, molecules, and ions. Now we know, first of all, that matter is made up of tiny particles. And these particles are atoms, molecules, and ions. So what is an atom? An atom is the smallest part of an element that maintains the identity of that element. So let's say you divide chalk. You carry chalk and divide a long chalk into pieces until you think this one is the smallest piece. Then I say pick one of the smallest piece and try to grind it, try to mash it to make it into powder. Then you do that, and then I say try to pick one grain of the powdery chalk. If you can be able to pick just one, then I would be able to say, okay, I can assume that that is an atom, just one atom of that whole chalk. Because if I carry it, I can still see that this is chalk. But that's the tiniest, simplest, so to say, part of that chalk. So an atom is the simplest part of an element which maintains the identity of that element. Atoms are extremely tiny. In fact, a line of 1 inch long iron material contains approximately 217 million atoms of iron. Just 1 inch of iron. So an atom consists of two regions. It has a positively charged nucleus, the center of the atom, and a cloud of negatively charged electrons. And this negatively charged cloud of electrons are moving around the center, that's moving around the nucleus, orbiting the nucleus. The nucleus of the atom houses the protons. That is, the protons is inside the nucleus. Remember, the nucleus is the center of the atom. What else is inside that nucleus? The neutron too. So we have the middle part of the atom as a nucleus, and inside this nucleus we have protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged and neutrons are neutral. They don't have any charge. Now the attraction between the nucleus, that center, the attraction between the positively charged protons and the negatively charged electrons, as the attraction between the center of the atom and the cloud of electrons, hold the atom together. Okay? Now, the total number of protons in an atom is referred to as atomic number of that atom. So if an atom has 5 protons, then the atomic number of that atom is 5. All right? The number of protons in an atom is equal in number, but different in charge to the electrons. That's to say, that atom that I said has 5 protons, because it has 5 protons, is going to have also 5 electrons. Remember, protons and electrons are found in the middle of the atom, in the nucleus. So it's equal in number. 5 protons equal 5 electrons. But they are going to be different, opposite in charge. Protons are positively charged, then electrons are going to be negatively charged. So that atom has 5 protons, 5 positively charged protons, and also 5 electrons, but 5 negatively charged electrons. So I say it again, the number of protons in an atom is equal in number, but opposite in charge to the electrons. Okay? That means that the overall charge of the atom is going to be neutral, of course. Because if we have 5 positive protons and have 5 negative electrons, the 5 negative stuff will cancel out the 5 positive stuff, right? And you'll be having a net charge of 0. So that's why the overall charge of an atom is neutral. Okay, 0. The total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom is altogether called the nucleon number. Remember, I said the center of the atom is called the nucleus. And the nucleus, which is the center of the atom, has inside it protons and the neutrons. So the total number of these protons and neutrons found inside this nucleus is altogether called nucleon number. Nucleon. Nucleon number. So therefore, nucleons are the protons and the neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. A nucleon is the proton and the neutron in the nucleus of an atom. Now also, the total number of protons and neutrons in an atom will determine the mass number of that atom. So in essence, what I'm saying is that the mass of an atom is the sum of the proton and the neutrons in that atom. All right? Now we've talked about atom. Let's move on to molecules. What is a molecule? Molecules are composed of 2 or more different atoms that are attached together and behave as a unit. Therefore, we are saying that a molecule is formed when 2 or more atoms are joined together. Take for instance, we have hydrogen. Hydrogen is an atom. If we add another atom of hydrogen to another atom of hydrogen, we form H2. That H2 becomes a molecule of hydrogen. Okay? A molecule is formed when 2 or more atoms are joined together. Now, most elements exist as individual atoms, like calcium, Ca, magnesium, Mg, sodium, Na. They exist as one. They can exist like that. But there are many substances that exist as 2 or more atoms. And these 2 or more atoms are connected together so strongly that they behave as a single unit, as a single particle. In fact, those type of substances cannot exist as single atoms. Like chlorine. Chlorine is a gas. Cl2. Hydrogen gas. H2. Oxygen gas. O2. In fact, all gases exist in molecule forms. That 2 or 3, but they can't exist as an atom standing alone when they are gases. So these are called molecules. All right? Now, the number of atoms in each molecule is called atomicity. So atomicity is the number of atoms present in a molecule. That's to say, neon is a noble gas. Okay, neon is just atomic. It's not like I said gases are diatomic, molecules. Noble gases are mostly not. Neon is Ne. So Ne is just one atom, just Ne. So atomicity is 1. Hydrogen is H2. Hydrogen gas is H2. What's the atomicity? Because it has 2 hydrogen atoms, that means the atomicity of hydrogen is 2. Okay, we can also see in case of ozone. Ozone is O3. The number of atoms that make up that molecule is 3 atoms of oxygen. So the atomicity of oxygen or of ozone is 3. And we have phosphorus. Phosphorus is P4. Since it has 4 p atoms, then the atomicity of phosphorus is 4. All right? Now we move over to ion. What is an ion? An ion is any atom or a group of atoms which possesses an electric charge. So So it can be an atom, but it should have a charge. Like Cu2 plus. Cu is the atom, but it has 2 plus as a charge, so it becomes Cu ion. It could be a group of ion like SO4 2 minus. S is one atom, O is another atom. So the combination of S and O is a group of atoms. So SO4 having a charge 2 minus makes it become sulfate ion. SO4 2 minus ion, not an atom anymore, not a molecule again, because it has a charge 2 minus. Okay, so an ion is any atom or a group of atoms, but must have an electric charge to be called an ion. All right, now remember that atoms have the same number of protons, positive, as electrons, which are negative. If an atom loses electron, that's the negative stuff, the atom becomes more positive. If an atom loses electrons, electrons are negative. So if an atom, which was neutral, 0, loses electrons, loses some negative things, the atoms become more positive, that it has more protons than the electrons now, which makes that atom's overall charge positive instead of neutral. Okay? Now this positively charged atom is no more called an atom, it is called an ion. So I've answered the question about the joke I posted earlier, which I said that the other atom said, I think I lost an electron. The other atom asked, are you sure? He said, yes, I'm positive. So the answer to that joke is, or the question was, why did he say I'm positive? He said I'm positive because when an atom loses electron, it becomes positive. It's losing negative things, so it becomes more positive than it was. Okay? All right. Now there are 2 types of ions. We have the positively charged ion called cation. Example, Na plus, sodium ion, Ca plus, calcium ion, Fe2 plus, ion. And we have the negatively charged ions. We call them anion. Example, Cl minus, chlorine ion or chloride ion. We have NO3 minus, we have OH minus hydroxide ions, and so on. But those are the classes of ions we have, the cation and the anion. Thank you for listening.